up, loves, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. On today's video, guys, I'll be talking to you guys about the 4 temperaments. We know there are 2 major personalities, the extroverts and the introverts. So I'm going to teach you guys about the 4 temperaments: the sanguine, the choleric, the melancholic, and the phlegmatic. You want to assess people. You want to know why people are the way they are. You want to predict behavior. You want to change some things about yourself. You want to know what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses. Here, this is the right video for you. As you guys know, we all talk about the purpose that you have. How can you go on to do your purpose if you don't know yourself? This is the journey of knowing yourself starts from here. Knowing about your personality, knowing your behavior, knowing why you behave the way you behave, knowing your strengths and weaknesses. Yep, guys, so thank you guys for tuning in. Without further ado, let's get into the video. There are 4 temperaments, guys. There's the sanguine, the melancholic, the phlegmatic, and the choleric. So guys, keep in tune, guys, because at the end of the video I'm going to tell you where I am. I'm going to tell you which personality I'm in. I'm going to tell you what and what. You know, you'll get to know more about me. So first of all, it's to say that there's no temperament that's bigger than the other one. There's no temperament that is better than the other one. All temperaments are okay. All temperaments have some strengths and weaknesses. So if you fall in one temperament, don't feel like, okay, or maybe I'm not. There's nothing wrong with your temperament. What you have to do, if you find yourself in that, if you assess yourself and you find yourself in that temperament, just embrace it. Work on your strength. Take advantage of the strengths that you have, and for your weaknesses, try and work on them. You'll know what's your weaknesses and you want to work on them. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The first, I'm looking over here, I have my notes, guys, so don't worry. I'll also be sipping my hot water with lemon. Kawaida, as usual, guys. So the sanguine is the first temperament that I want to touch on. As in what will I say? Sanguines are extroverts. As simple as that. Sanguines are extroverts. They're outgoing people. They're energetic. They're talkative. They're optimistic. You know, the sanguine are the life of the party. You know, when the sanguine walks in the room, you know they have walked in the room. They're like, hi, you know, how are you doing? Let's go out. Yeah, they're with everything and anything. You know, those people who are like, let's go. Yeah, let's go. You know that one friend that you have that they'll be like, I want to go here. They'll be like, down, let's go. So the sanguine are the happy, the outgoing people. They're energetic. They have energy for days. You know those people that when you wake up in the morning and then someone is bumping some music and you're waking up at the same time, they're dancing, you know, they're having a good time, you know. And that those people who they wake up, they're like, no, please, why so much energy? Why do you have so much energy? And it's just in the AM. So the sanguine are those people, the energetic people, the outgoing, they're talkative, the loudest in the room. When a sanguine walks in the room, you know someone has entered in the room. So that's their personality traits. Their strength is they're fun, loving, they're authentic, you know. They're great at making friends. You know, a sanguine can be in let's say you guys have gotten in an environment at the same time. A sanguine will live there with like 2 or 3 friends. And you're like, bro, how do you know these people? They're like, no, that's my friend, actually. And they'll invite them. They'll say, but then next time when you go, I'm going to call you. And they're like, what happened? What's happening here? Those are the sanguine are those type of people. They easily make friends. They easily make friends. They are good at loving. They're enthusiastic. You know, they're very good people, by the way. The sanguines are very good people, but those are some of their strengths that they have. They are good with friends, they're fun, they're energetic, they're optimistic, you know, not pessimistic. They're not like, no, it won't happen. You'll tell a sanguine, by the way, I want to go to, let's say where, I want to go to Mars. They'll say, you can do it, by the way. Actually, I know someone, let's go. They'll even start to help you looking for in the computer where to go. They are positive people, positive mindset, you know. they're optimistic, no negativity. You cannot come and start telling a sanguine like, until let's go here. They're like, no, they'll get an axe. No, they don't think about that. So those are some of the positivity, or some of the positive or the strength that the sanguines have. Now let's get into the weaknesses that the sanguine have. Let me see. The weaknesses that the sanguine have is, one, they're easily distracted. Concentration span is kidogo. The concentration span of a sanguine is not as big. They don't have a large concentration span. If you were to do ABCD, let's do ABCD. Now if you start telling me they get easily distracted, I was about to say no, guys, I'll be at the end of the video. I'll be telling you my personalities and where I lie after the 4 temperaments. So a sanguine, they're easily distracted. They can they could be doing something. They could be maybe doing something. They're reading, and then someone comes and they say, "Oh, I was about to go to the supermarket. You want to go?" They leave the book and say, "Let's go." They won't even think about the book. They won't even think about the exam that they have. They're easily distracted. That's one weakness that the sanguine have. Another weakness that the sanguine have is they're impulsive. They're very impulsive. They don't think things. Because they are very energetic, because they are very fun, they're outgoing, they actually don't take time to think things through. Like, for example, a sanguine you could be like, okay, let's go. We are going to someone, maybe let's say they're in a road trip. They say, but then I wanted to go to Mombasa, or I wanted to go to USA, and they're like, by the way, let's go. They won't even think, okay, I did not inform ABCD. They won't even think I have work, ABCD. They're those people who live at the moment. Those people, YOLO people. You only live once. Sanguines are there, you only live once, and that can also be a weakness because they are impulsive. You don't take time to think about the repercussions. You don't take time to think about, okay, am I financially okay? They don't take time to think like, okay, this wasn't part of my plan, this wasn't part of my routine. Why am I actually jumping up and going with the flow? Another weakness that they have is they struggle with consistency. A sanguine, because they are easily distracted, they cannot do well with consistency. Because they are easily distracted. So if like those people, the sanguines, they're opposite from people who have routine. Those people who have routine, they say, right now it's 8, it's time to go make dinner. It's 9, it's time to take a shower. No, sanguines don't do well with routines. They struggle with consistency because their mind, they have low concentration. They have low concentration, so they cannot actually take time to follow the consistency. You can be telling a sanguine like, okay, today let's go to the gym. They say, okay, those people, new year, new me. This year we are going to the gym back to back. But for a sanguine, if they're actually not motivated, if they're actually not, maybe like, I would say pushed. I don't want to use the word pushed, but I'll say motivated. You can see they fall off out of the consistency because they get bored easily. They'd be like, okay, the first few days, okay, it's the gym, woo, we're having a good time, we are working on ourselves, working on our bodies. But after a few times, they're like, okay, what's the next thing? Bring something exciting to the table. Now that's another. Sorry, guys. That's another disadvantage of a sanguine. Like, they'll be like, okay, what's the next thing? Bring out the next thing. Let's move forward. So that's one of their weaknesses. Another last weaknesses, I want to say it's a weakness, but I also don't want to say it as a weakness, kabisa, because they're talkative. A sanguine is talkative, and sometimes being too talkative is not the right thing. I did a video on why silent people are the smartest in the room, and sometimes not mean that sanguines are not smart. They are actually smart, but what I'm saying, sometimes being talkative is not too good, because when you're talkative, you cannot listen to what other people are saying. When you're talkative, you're always the center of attention, so you can have, like, you don't have room to learn, because not everyone else is keeping quiet. You're the only one who's speaking, so not everyone is not learning from what you get from you. You won't get room to learn. Being talkative can also be can also be, it's whether being talkative is good or bad, because sometimes it's good because you have the confidence, you know, you are outgoing, you are confident, but also it can also be a weakness in terms of, you know, you are not easily you're easily approached, but you cannot learn. You don't have to, you don't, you know, the what we learned like when you were young, that you listen before you speak, that you have 2 ears, because your 2 ears is for listening more than speaking, you know, those ones. So if you lie on the sanguine, you can actually write down the characteristics below, and also see where you lie, where you lie on the temperaments. So I'll move on to the choleric. Choleric, they're ambitious. You know, you can actually comment down below where you think you are. Choleric, they're ambitious. They are those people who are goal-oriented. They are confident. They are natural leaders. You know, they're assertive and determined. You know, those people who are goal-oriented, they say, you know, choleric are those people who actually follow routines, you know, the leaders, they are confident, you know, those people who speak and you're like, okay, and you guys walked in the same time in the room with them, and but they're like, excuse me, what do you mean by A, B, C, and they're like, hey, calm down. And they're like, calm down, let's listen to what they have to say. No, choleric, they're actually ambitious, they're goal oriented, they're natural leaders. It's come authentic to them. Even for example, if you're in a setup where you require for someone to volunteer to be a leader, choleric are actually natural leaders. They'll take control of situations. They'll be like, no, we need to do A, B, C, D, so you do A, B, C, D, this one can do E, F, and this one can, they're natural leaders. No one has actually pinpointed them, but natural leaders. They're natural leaders. Choleric, those are also actually some of their strengths. Also, they are determined, they are highly motivated. Choleric, they're highly motivated. I'll now jump to the weaknesses that they have. They can be cholerics are impatient. You know those impatient people? They're like, but I told you to wipe the table. You're like, hey Senjay, like, what's happening? I'm going to do it, or I'm about to do it. Those people actually, they have a lot of pressure because they are very impatient. They are bossy sometimes. They are bossy, which is actually not a good character, being bossy. You know, those people who you feel like you're here, you want to be here, but it's actually a personality, and that's why you have to learn the weaknesses that your temperament has, so that you can be conscious about it. The importance, guys, of actually knowing your temperament is actually knowing your strength. And so if you know your strength, you work on your strength to get better. And if you know your weaknesses, it's also working on your weaknesses and being aware, so that you know, you don't step on people on the wrong toes. For example, we are saying the choleric and bossy people, so you have to be aware. Even in a room, even the way you talk to people, you need to, if your characteristics sit on the place of choleric, be mindful that you don't come out bossy to people. You don't the impatient part. You know, another weakness that the choleric have is that they are very competitive. A choleric are those people like, oh, you did this, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to show you. You know, those people, like, you're like, bro, it's not that serious. But they're like, no, you see the way, like, for example, even let's say you are racing on the car, then maybe you are just driving and someone passes you, a choleric will say, you see the way they have done, you see the way they are showing me. Like, we're like, okay, bro, not everything is about you. You don't have to go on that pace. Now that's another, not a disadvantage, or weaknesses that they have. Because they are impatient, they are quick tempered, they are hot tempered. You know, they are very hot tempered. They are not, you know, as much as sanguines are slow to anger, the cholerics are actually the opposite. Another weakness that the choleric have is that they are indecisive. You know, because they are indecisive and they're driven by results. A choleric wants to see, okay, A, B, C, D, where are the results? You know, you see the way we say it, trust the process. The choleric, they are, no, I don't want the process, I want the results. Like, they say, okay, just work hard, A, B, C, D, trust the process. They're like, no, I want it and I want it now. Okay, I'll move on to the third that temperament personality, guys. And I'll say this, the personalities, actually the temperaments, they are two of them are introverts and two of them are extroverts. Like for example, the sanguine and the choleric they're extroverts. Then they're melancholic and phlegmatic are introverts, and sometimes they go hand in hand. You can have a sanguine who is a melancholic, or a choleric who's a melancholic, or a choleric with a phlegmatic personality. You don't have to be tied to one temperament. They go hand in hand. So the third temperament is the melancholic. Oh my god, the melancholic people are those, those people who are analytical, the thoughtful, the deep, the perfectionist. A perfectionist. A perfectionist is a melancholic. If you know anyone who's a perfectionist, those ones that they wanted, you've done A, B, C, D. They're like, no, I didn't want A, B, C, D written in capital letters. I wanted small letters, but I didn't want like the small letters. I wanted small letters with written, I don't know. Those perfectionists. They'll be like, okay, for example, they be like, okay, I want to wear this. They're like, no, I don't want to wear this and this. I wanted to wear this and this, but I wanted it to look this way. They actually get distracted about it. The perfectionist people, they're thoughtful. They're analytical. They're highly organized. The melancholics are highly organized. Those people who are, I think we can actually say they have OCD, but they don't have OCD. I don't want to use OCD because OCD is actually a big word. So they're highly organized. Those people want to put their seats like this, their books like this. Don't touch I've arranged my cups here. Don't come and remove this cup here and put it in this cup. No, please, don't do that. Highly organized. They are detail-oriented. They focus on details. They could be, let's say for example, this cup. They're like, okay, I want this cup, but I want a big one. I want the one that has sips water. Okay, that has a straw. They focus on details. They value tradition. That's another advantages. Not advantages. I want to call them strengths. Strengths of a melancholic. They value tradition. They are consistent. They have high standards because they are perfectionists. Automatically, they have high standards, guys. They are emotional beings. Those people who are emotional. They are loyal. They are compassionate. An emotional person in terms of they actually. There are people who just do things for doing. But for example, if you had a melancholic, they'll actually feel sad about it. They'll be like, no, why did you do that? And you're like, guy, that's not what I meant. I didn't mean it that way. But they're very emotional. So those are some of their strengths, which is a very good trait, very good traits to have. But some of their weaknesses is that they are critical, they are pessimistic. Oh my god, they have, you see when you do something, well, of course you want a positive criticism, okay, but melancholic, they're pessimistic. You'll be like, okay, but I want to go to learn how to drive. They're like, no, they say, the rules say you cannot even drive when you are not 21. Why would you want to drive and you don't even have a car? Why would you actually want to learn and you're wasting that money? You see that money, they're pessimistic. They're not, they're actually opposite of sanguine. That's why I said the melancholic and the phlegmatic, these two are actually opposites of introverts, or opposite of extroverts, because you see now the melancholic is an introvert. They're highly organized, they are perfectionists, they like consistency. As you guys can see, it's an opposite, what do I want to say? It's an opposite sequence. It's not something that follows. So like you see the melancholic, they are very critical, they are pessimistic. They're like, no, I wanted to do this. They're like, no, you cannot do it. I want to go to mass. No, what if you die? You can die. People have died. They'll even bring research. You see, look at this file. People are dying. You see now the melancholic those ones are not for good vibes. No, but as you guys can see, they're pessimistic and they're prone to overthink, because now they are perfectionists, they're overthinkers. They just don't, you see, it's opposite of the sanguine actually. Sanguines are go with the flow, YOLO, you only live once. Melancholic, they are no YOLO. Like they actually overthink. They're like pros and cons. They're like, okay, let's try it. You want to go to the mass? Let's write the pros. Let's write the cons. When are you going to go? At what time are you going to come back? How much do you actually need? And sometimes it's actually a good thing, but it can also be a weakness, because you actually miss out in life, you know. If you are a melancholic over there, try to loosen up a bit, you know, so that you don't miss out in life. Because some things, like maybe you could be your friends and they're like say, okay, let's go for skating, but you're like, no, we didn't plan to, because they're highly organized. They're like, no, we didn't plan to go there, let's stick to the plan. You see, now you're missing out in life. So if you're falling over there, you can also actually work on the weaknesses. Not saying that the weaknesses are a bad thing, just that they're things that you can work on and be aware of them. Actually, the main point of learning the personalities is being aware. Even as you speak to someone, even as you interact with people, even as you talk to family, you can actually assess your family and be aware and be like, okay, this one likes it when I do ABCD, this one doesn't like it when I do ABCD. How can I work around dealing with or having ABCD in my life? So those are some of the weaknesses, because they're unmotivated. You see oh, sorry guys, let me see. Okay, sorry guys, I'm trying to see what time it is right now. Sorry. The last temperament is the phlegmatic, guys. Phlegmatic. The phlegmatic temperament. The phlegmatic temperament. What will I say about the phlegmatic? They are those people who agree. They are very agreeable. They are very comfortable. Those people who like peace. They don't like change. You know, they are loyal people. They are good to deal with emotions. They lack a sense of emergency. You see, a phlegmatic. No, these are actually their strengths. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Phlegmatic are loyal people. We all want loyal people in our lives. A phlegmatic, they'll die. You see, if they say I'll ride and die for you, that's what they're going to do. It's not like a sanguine. A sanguine, they'll say I'll die for you. Then they go ahead and they find someone better and be like, this one had my vibes. Let me go with this one because this one vibes are better than this one. You see, that's not the same thing as a phlegmatic. A phlegmatic is a loyal people. They're loyal people. They're loyal. There are people who are actually loyal. If they say, you know, I'm going to come through for you, then I'm coming through for you. You see, that's why I guess I said it's an opposite. The phlegmatic and melancholic, they're actually opposite of extroverts, which is the sanguine and choleric. Because the sanguine, in another hand, they're not actually that loyal. They go with the vibes, you know. This one, Akiza, today is not good vibes. Let me go with Sengu. Sengu, today is good vibes. Let's go. Sengu is not good vibes. Let me go with whoever. You know, the next exciting thing. That's how a sanguine works. But a phlegmatic, they are very loyal people. They are very agreeable. They're easy to talk to, you know. They like peace. You know, those people who choose, as you said, guys, this year, choose peace. They're like, no, we don't have to argue, Hakiza. Like, what are you saying? I say, you know, I want to go here. They're like, it's okay. Yeah, they don't want to argue. They want peace. You know, they value their peace. They are very comfortable, you know. They lack a sense of emergency. They're like, you know, we can do it tomorrow. Don't worry about it. You know, those calm people. You're like, hey, why are you so calm? You know, they're phlegmatic. They are calm. They're relaxed. They're easygoing. They're compassionate. And they have that. They are good to deal with emotions, actually. If you actually want to vent to someone, you need a phlegmatic in your life. Because they're good with emotions. They'll be like, what happened? Talk to me about it, you know. And their strength is that they're patient, they're diplomatic, they're loyal, they're good listener. Because they're good with emotions, they're good listener. It's not like a sanguine. A sanguine cannot be a good listener if you're also talkative. Hello. Yeah, sanguine cannot be a good listener if you're also talkative. Hello, as in that's why you need to learn. You need to learn about the temperament so that you can work on your weaknesses. That doesn't necessarily mean because you're a sanguine that you cannot learn to be a good listener. You can actually learn to be a good listener. You can actually learn on your weaknesses. So those are some of the strengths that phlegmatic has. And now let's get into the weaknesses that a phlegmatic has. Oh my god. They avoid change. They avoid arguments. You know, they're procrastinators because they're easygoing. They're like they don't have emergency. They procrastinate. You can tell a sanguine, let's go to the shop today. They're like, no, let's go to the shop tomorrow. It's already late. You see, they say those folks, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. That's actually a weakness of a phlegmatic. They actually like to postpone. They're indecisive. You know. A phlegmatic is indecisive because they are agreeable with everyone. Hakiza comes and we talk and we say yes. Someone else come and talk to me and I say yes. You see, now I'm not indecisive. I'm not like fully independent, you know, and that's actually not a good thing, because at times maybe someone can be actually telling you, accompany me here and to here, but you are actually not in that mood, you know. Another weakness that they have is that they lie out of fear. They can be liars out of fear, not because they are actually liars, out of fear, because maybe they promised Akiza this thing, then someone else came, or say, let's say Charity came and you promised them the other thing, and another person came and you promised them the other thing. So you see, they can actually be caught up in a lie because they are very agreeable, and which is actually not a good thing. They are not those who can actually plainly say no, bluntly say no. They cannot do that. Another weakness that they have is they avoid conflicts. Being too agreeable can actually be a weakness to you, because sometimes you don't want to do anything. That makes you even highly unmotivated, you know. Like, for example, I'll just give a small story of, like, for example, even when you look at in the Bible about the story of Abraham and Sarah. You see, even when Sarah was like, okay, came to Abraham and said, you know, I need to have a baby, you know, you can sleep with the maid so that we can have a baby. And Abraham had already talked to God, and God had already told Abraham that I'm going to give you a son. But you see, when Sarah came, Abraham was like, okay, it's okay, just bring the maid then. And you see, it actually caused more not damage, more chaos in the home. Even when Sarah was like, okay, I don't want this one in the home. You see the way they are treating me. I don't want the maid here. You see, A, B, C, D. So it was actually not a good. It was actually a weakness that someone has. Yes, guys, that's the end, guys. Hope you guys have learned something. Hope you guys have picked a few things or two about the 4 temperaments that I've shared: the phlegmatic, the melancholic, the sanguine, and the choleric. And you guys can actually have them written down and actually take time to analyze yourself and analyze where you belong to. If you belong to a choleric, if you belong to a phlegmatic, or where you belong to. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, loves.